Childs and Dobbin, that's neat. Dobbin with time to put a good ball in here, cleared by the player manager. Bryson, he's not had much of a chance to run today, but he's fouled O'Connell. All on his own, surrounded by Grimsby players, however, and then when he plays the pass out wide, it's given Croft the chance to take it away from Redfern.
All of a sudden, you're seeing Barnsley switch defence into attack very quickly. To start with in the game, they were taking a little bit too much time, and now they're breaking very quickly and forcing Grimsby back in spells.
Croft. Get the feeling Anderson's more on top of his job now against Mendonca, sees him as the danger man. But then Archdeacon allows that ball to run under his foot. Barnsley continue to make mistakes when they shouldn't be doing. Childs and Livingston onside. This time it's too far ahead of him.
A bit of a dangerous game again there. Livingston just delayed his run right and had a little bit of a chance. The ball was too strong, but he's running off defenders quite well, and they've got to be careful not to be caught out, Barnsley there.
Again, Fleming's ball not good enough out of defence. But he's made up for it. Dave Gilbert didn't play in midweek against Leicester and was badly missed in many ways. Young Croft filled in on the left side of midfield, but he's now back in his more accustomed position of left back. Bishop. Connell did well there, he held it up long enough. And here goes Biggins, shadowed by Tony Ford. Ford's in the action again, and this time he's fouled Williams. Free kick given against the Grimsby fullback. So just under 10 minutes from the break. Again, Barnsley have this opportunity to get themselves back in the match. You can see how much it means to the manager. Well, it's a useful ball in, but well cleared first time. So Fleming taken down nicely by Archdeacon. Has he got the pace to keep this in? Yes is the answer. Futcher's there again. And Mendonca loses out to Williams. Goes for handball. That's a real up and under from Gary Childs. And Livingston might yet get something from this. Egan's gone across. Close down, and then Livingston, well, he got in the way, and Mendonca leaves it to the centre forward now. Well, that really would have been a rather fortuitous goal for Grimsby if Livingston had found the target.
There's two forwards desperately trying to score there. Clive Mendonca, who we know likes to hang on to the ball a little bit, and Livingston, who took the ball off Mendonca's foot.
The referee stopping play because I think there's a head injury here, and you can't dally with things like that. So treatment required immediately for Wayne Biggins. Chris, you can see why these two sides have struggled at times this season, though. Barnsley in particular seem to get caught through the middle in defence.
Through the middle, yes, but Owen Archdeacon doesn't look completely comfortable at left back. I know he came here originally as a winger from Scotland, and we've seen him on one or two occasions in advanced positions and looking a lot more comfortable with the ball at his feet, taking people on. And once or twice he's given the ball away. There's Owen, and in positions where Gary Childs and Jim Dobbin have picked the ball up and brought Grimsby into play. But they've started to settle down a little bit, Barnes, in the last 10 minutes, and they're showing a lot of commitment, and they're forcing Grimsby back. But as Dave said before, they really need to score before half-time to pull themselves back into this game.
And Grimsby, you feel if they had a killer touch, they might have been out of sight by now.
They always play good football, pretty passing football and nice little triangles, but they need that penetration, and Mendonca scored, some would say, a fortuitous first goal, waiting for the offside trap that never came, and they really need to push Barnsley back and create more goal scoring opportunities with all the good football and possession they're having.
Childs with the throw-in. Livingston beaten this time by Bishop, and then O'Connell has turned it into the path of Biggins and got in his way as well. Fleming. Good marking by Futcher. He was breathing down Bryson's neck there all the way. What a terrific buy he's been for Grimsby Town. I mean, they've had 3 seasons out of him when a lot of people were thinking his career was at an end.
Well, he was at Halifax. A lot of people were surprised when Alan Buckley took him to Grimsby, but what an inspired buy, and for I think £10,000 at the time, he's had more than value for money off ball.
Five minutes to the break. Alan Buckley, who's always quite vociferous, I think he'll be happy with the style of football his team plays. He's always been an advocate of the beautiful game. He likes to see the ball played along the ground. He wasn't too happy in midweek when his reserves came here and lost 3-1. And Arthur Mann, who sits alongside him on the bench, actually played for Grimsby reserves that night.
Well, he's a very fit person, is Arthur, and Alan has had a lot of success at Grimsby, and he's had promotions there, and they do play what's called pretty football, but there's only 2 types of football for me. There's winning successful football and not successful football.
So they've less than 5 minutes in which to get themselves back into the game in this half, Barnsley. This is Eden. Nice little chip. O'Connell's in here. Brendan O'Connell. And I think he was surprised to find the room. And you see his anguish because he was right in there and should have done better with the finish.
You can see on his face there the disappointment. A lovely little chip passed through, and he was waiting. Oh, he just couldn't get enough power on it, and probably didn't realise the amount of space and time he had to go onto the ball.
What a beautiful pass it was from Eden, though, one of the youngsters here. So Barnsley have now had 3 shots on target to Grimsby's 4. So they're catching up. I'd still say that Paul Crichton hasn't had a save to make as such, but he might now. Bryson, shadowed by Futcher, tries to turn it back for Williams, and Gareth Williams almost got in, and that will be a corner. Just 1 or 2 signs of hesitancy and panic in the Grimsby defence there. It's Jim Dobbin who's needing some attention before the corner can be taken. Jim's a terrific battler on Grimsby's behalf. Hard to see what happened to him in there. It was a bit of a scuffle. So I'll have a bit of time to add on now in this first half. And, Alan Buckley tends at the far end. That's the young reserve goalkeeper, Jason Trinder, who's on the bench today because Rhys Wilmot was added to the casualty list in midweek.
Nothing to do with Tommy, is it?
Well, I haven't actually had the chance to ask him that, but Alan Buckley will if he's not a comedian, if he does come on. Corner then for Barnsley. They must try and profit from it. Biggins got it well, and that's the equaliser for Barnsley. Wayne Biggins rising at the back post, powers it in. He's wearing a smile, and no wonder. Redford's corner here. The first header, the second header, good enough. And although O'Connell was there as well, I think that Biggins was the one claiming it.
Yeah, good ball in, and here we go. 1 header. Second header from Biggins in a good position, and O'Connell just finishing in just to make sure, I think, that the ball gets in the net. Interesting to see who claims it. No doubt Bertie Biggins will want that one.
Well, if it is Biggins, it'll be his first in the league this season. I don't think Viv Anderson will worry too much who it was. The important thing is it's 1-1.
That's right, and we said they needed to get a goal, and the pressure that they've had in the last 15 minutes has been through the positive play, and they've got a set piece which they'll work on the training ground, which will please Danny and Viv, and they've come away with a goal just before half time at just the right time for them as well.
It was a sequence of 3 headers really, because Bryson got up initially, then Biggins and O'Connell to finish it. Unless, as we said, Biggins takes the claim anyway. Might well have crossed the line before O'Connell got his touch. Well, they're even talking down on the bench actually about who is going to get the credit. O'Connell and Biggins might dispute it between them. That'll be the least of their worries to sort out at half-time, because Grimsby is still in this match too at 1-1, and more pressure for them. Oh, and here's a mistake. To allow that ball to be crossed in at that stage was lax work by Grimsby. I think that's made the game now for the second half.
Yes, it was important that Barnsley got that goal, as we've said, and it's just livened things up. Grimsby have just dropped a little bit deep defensively in the last few minutes, and haven't been squeezing up as much as they were early in the game. But to be fair to Barnsley, it's been all them in the last 10 minutes, and we haven't really seen Grimsby as an attacking force that they were early in the game.
Butler safely pops it up to the halfway line. No offside given, and again the linesman on that far side, not the most popular man with the crowd.
Very difficult job for linesmen nowadays. The pace of the game and the fact that the ruling is that levels on makes it so difficult for them at times, and it is difficult when you're a home crowd and your team's striving to get a goal and you're defending, not to give him the benefit of the doubt at times.
Livingston, Croft and Gilbert. Well, Grimsby haven't really created anything in the last 20-25 minutes, having done very well initially.
I think we saw an early shot count where they were 4-0 up on the shots. I think that's probably changed now.
Certainly has. Livingston and Dobbin now, he can hit them, and he rifles one in. Cracking effort from Jim Dobbin. That's his trademark.
We spoke too soon about the shot count, and Jim Dobbin, who's shaking his head there. Lovely strike with the ball, and here we go, head down, good technique, and it's just faded away on the left-hand corner there. But a good shot.
That would have been a contender for goal of the season. I know there's a feeling down on the Grimsby bench that Jim Dobbin might not come out for the second half. He's got a groin injury. Not a bad local scrap at all, this one now at 1-1. Dobbin will be upset if he does have to come off against his old team. That's useful, and Biggins finds Bryson. It's a sprightly ending to the half by Barnsley. Now Biggins again. He might try one from here. Certainly wishes he hadn't now.
We mentioned halfway during the half that Biggins and Bryson like to run onto the ball, and we've seen several chances now and occasions in the last 10 or 15 minutes where Bryson's running onto it in a corner, and Biggins is getting the ball to feet in the box, and that's what Barnsley will want to do and trying to keep going in the second half.
So 1-1 it is, and a message gone from the Grimsby bench to Jim Dobbin just to say hang on in there for the rest of the half, and they'll see if they can repair him, no doubt. Could bring on either Kevin Jobling, a defender, or Tony Rees, an attacker. Barnsley have really two strikers on the bench in Andrew Liddell and Daniel Graham today. But that was so important for Barnsley, that equaliser just before half-time. Having been behind most of the half, I think it was the 12th minute when Mendonca scored. Half-time it is then, so Clive Mendonca's goal, an early one and a controversial one, was cancelled out 5 minutes before half-time. We're not sure whether it was Biggins or O'Connell who took the credit, but the important thing, half-time here, it's Barnsley 1, Grimsby Town 1.
It's Barnsley 1, Grimsby 1 as half-time, and Dave Bassett, that's about fair, isn't it, overall, actually?
Yeah, I think it's a fair result. You could really cut the first half in two and say Grimsby had the first sort of 20-odd minutes and Barnsley finished up the next 20 minutes. It was important that Barnsley scored when they were having this good spell in the second period.
And important for Grimsby that they got the goal when they did early on, because they've had this slightly bad run. Mendonca's not scored for 5 games, and here he was opening the scoring and looking fairly confident about
it. They started very well, Grimsby. They were attacking Barnsley, they were getting at them and causing them all sorts of problems. Barnsley were trying to play the offside and not doing it very well. And I think they were complaining about the officials. And there you can see that the boy Bishops tried to play Clive offside, really. And, that's poor defending. If you're going to play offside, you've got to know what you're doing. And they were lucky, I thought, soon after this when the Barnsley keeper Butler made a good save and Livingston came in and the linesman gave offside. I couldn't see how he was because the shot was from a distance. And they were looked very rockety in that period of time and were well on top. And when we saw the score sheet was 4-0 in shots, really that wasn't that was a true reflection of how the game was going.
Yeah.
And Barnsley needed to claw their way back in, which, to be fair, they did.
We did see clearances off the line at both ends. I mean, there were one or two quite good incidents. We'd have a quick look at those.
Yeah, there was one or two very good goal-mouth incidents, and I think this is where Grimsby get a cross in here, in actual fact. And the ball, oh yes, we've seen before that, it got cleared back out to the cross there. Groves hit a good first-time ball, and the boy Fleming's done an acrobatic clearance.
And then at the other end, more or less a carbon copy.
Yeah, this was a good free kick, and the goalkeeper comes window clean in here, and out of his goal. And Barnsley are in there, and you can see Croft gets the ball away there. He does well. The goalkeeper could have cost them badly there.
Now, Barnsley actually have come back and, as you say, really dominated. Who would you pinpoint as the men who brought Barnsley back into it so well?
Well, I think as the team, they've fought their way back in, and they've started to get Biggins and Bryson pushed up on the centre halves. I mean, the Grimsby centre halves are not particularly safe. Both sets of defenders look like they can see the goal. And I think the fact they've got Biggins and Bryson a bit further forward and they've able to get a few crosses in, this has caused Grimsby some problems. And really, as I say, Barnsley have dominated the last 20 minutes. I mean, other than the shot near the end from Dobbin, Grimsby haven't ventured into Barnsley's half.
And in fact, the Barnsley goal was an example of what you were talking about, because Bryson and Biggins were both involved in it.
That's right. I mean, on the corner here, I mean, they've got Croft, who's a small boy, picking Bryson up, who gets a touch on. Biggins is at the back post, lost his marker. A good header across the goal, and O'Connell's in there to notch. A very good, well-rehearsed goal. And I mean, Bryson's won the important touch there against Croft, because he'll beat Croft in the air, no problems.
Important for Grimsby that Dobbin's able to carry on with that groin strain we're hearing about.
Well, I would think they'd want to. I mean, Alan's probably happy that it's half. Well, he's probably not happy it's half time. He'd have preferred that about 5 minutes before. He would have liked to have got in, winning 1-0. He will have to get them going again, as they were trying to play in the first 20 minutes. And they were causing Barnsley some problems, where Barnsley were trying to play offside when there was no pressure on the ball, and Mendonca was making some good runs in Livingston, and of course Childs and Gilbert were able to get little nice straight balls through on the angled run.
OK, let's see what happens in the second half after this break. Barnsley 1, Grimsby 1, half-time score at Oakwell, and it could have been 2-1 to Barnsley, because they came perhaps closest of all to adding to the total, Dave Bassett.
Yeah, this was a good effort in actual fact. The boy Williams shows good determination there, and he swings across in, and Redford comes in, and he hits a very, very good shot. It's one of those, if it hits the net, it's a great goal, but it's just gone wide. I actually thought the keeper had saved it.
We're looking at a funny angle. We rather gather that Alan Buckley's been giving his team quite a dressing down in the dressing room at half-time. But we can get a view from the Barnsley camp, in fact, from the Barnsley coach, Danny Wilson. He's with Rob McCaffrey. Rob?
Danny Wilson not playing today, but your team came back well after a shaky start.
Yeah, I'd like to see the goal again that Grimsby scored. From our position, it looked 3 or 4 yards offside. But that's the type of thing that's been going against us all season, to be fair. The lads, they've dug in, and the last 20 minutes or so, they deserve to get back in the game.
But having said that, you've looked very shaky when you've been playing the offside. What's been going wrong?
I don't know if us playing being very shaky or the linesman, I'm not sure.
But it's happened a couple of times, hasn't it?
We can only do the things that we know are right, and if we keep a straight line and we think the lad's offside, there's not a lot we can do if the decisions don't go your way. You know, and we felt very harshly done to in a couple of situations. But that's football, you just got to get on with it, and hopefully we can turn it around in the second half and come out with a win.
We'll see how it goes. Thanks a lot, Danny.
Well, that's absolutely right. It's in the papers tomorrow is the goal. It stands, and it's 1-1. And I'll tell you about 2 substitutions in a moment. There's Tony Rees back in the action for Grimsby Town. They'll be pleased to see him. He's come on in place of Steve Livingston, and he's playing up front alongside Clive Mendonca in the second half. And Grimsby have also had to bring Kevin Jobling on in place of Jim Dobbin. The referee gets a touch. So the way it's been reorganised, Jobling's goes offside here, is Rees. Jobling's gone into the right back position. And Rees playing up front. What it means is that Tony Ford has switched into the centre of midfield in place of Dobbin effectively. Into the penalty area goes Bryson, covered by Croft, but that's gone behind, and I think we all heard the shouts of corner ball there. And the linesman on that far side agreed. Quickly taken. Here's Barnsley's corner, first minute of the second half. It went beyond Biggins and Anderson couldn't control it. Eden has done really well to cut that one back. The angle was tight for him. And Nick Eden's had one or two good moments in this match.
He's having a lively game so far, and Barnsley obviously need a good start, a good, bright, lively start to this half, knowing that Grimsby have had to reorganise.
Kept in by Croft. That's not going to go out either. It will now. That's coming to me.
Well, you'll miss, won't you, John?
(1-1) the scoreline. These two sides meet again next month in this very odd way the computer's thrown up the fixtures this season. It's not an effective clearance, straight to Ford. Now Childs, good little turn from him, he's nimble, and he's fed it in here for Rees, who'll win a corner. Tony Rees, who's a good striker here, having moved north from the Midlands, played for Aston Villa and Birmingham City before coming north. And he always leads the Grimsby line effectively. Corner then for Grimsby. And Groves will go for it. It's a solid enough catch from Lee Butler. O'Connell, who has been credited with the Barnsley goal, incidentally, finds Redfern now. Oh, what a giveaway that is from Redfern. Straight to the foot of Gilbert. He popped up in the centre forward position and will try his luck from here. A sort of scything shot which swerved over the bar. He didn't really have an option.
Here we see Dave Gilbert, not usually in a central position and having a swipe at it, but high and wide.
That's not a good touch from Eden. So Mendonca. Ford's onside, and he did used to be a winger, as Chris McManamy said in the first half, but he's beaten away from this one very solidly by Bishop. Butcher in there. Biggins, strong header taken on by Bryson, the former Sheffield United man, and now it's Williams. Archdeacon thinks twice about laying over the ball first time. It's rolled instead to Eden. And that's rather haphazard passing. And O'Connell can do little about that. And Dave Bassett will be nominating the Ensley League Man of the Match later on for us. A very even contest at the moment, I imagine. As is the one on the pitch. So Groves and Gilbert. Fair enough tackle from Redfern. Ooh, that was an awkward one. It sliced away from Crichton's boot. He's had one very unhappy experience this season against Nottingham Forest. But since then he really has established himself as a firm favourite at Blundell Park, Paul Crichton.
I think anybody that saw that air shot that he had at Forest must have felt sorry for him that day. Took a little bit of a bobble possibly and
O'Connell has got this one through for Biggins, a snapshot. Good reaction as well from Crichton.
A good save, just what we're saying. He settled into the side very well, and a snapshot from Bertie Biggins and a good save, pushed away well by Crichton.
It's a bright start to the second half from Barnsley, although the quality of passing again lets them down there. It was allowed to run through by Gilbert, and here goes Gary Croft, the youngster in whom Liverpool have expressed an interest over the last couple of seasons. And he'll figure again. Mendonca couldn't control that. Biggins didn't control his pass either. Williams and O'Connell, he'll keep this in. Confronted straight away by Futcher. On goes O'Connell, the Barnsley scorer. He'll turn back, but easily kept away by Tony Ford.
Such a hard-working player, Brendan O'Connell, and he got into a good position there, attacked Paul Futcher, and was unlucky not to get the ball across the box.
No way through for O'Connell that time, so Rees has to hold it up for Grimsby. Support from Kevin Jobling. Ooh, useful ball as well down here for Mendonca. Bishop had to touch it and did so effectively. Fleming. Barnsley, remember, seeking what would be only their second league win at home this season. Having beaten Nottingham Forest here. They've got the worst defensive record in the First Division. They've let 31 goals now with that one of Mendonca's today, and they'll have to defend again now. Rees can't just find Mendonca. Fleming gradually making progress up the right. Ball there. The thing is, Grimsby might lack Livingston alongside Mendonca for his physical presence. Tony Rees, not that type of player. He's one who's very astute with little flicks and keeping the line going. He's not as physical as Livingston. Now it's O'Connell who's drifting around all over in this second half. Lays it back for Biggins to strike. What a strike as well. Well, everybody in the stand lifted then when it left his foot. He had a little look, got his head down, and it was a tremendous strike that just flashed past the post. He's had a little smile there, little wry smile. He would have liked to have hit the target, but he was a long way out. An inch, he says to himself there. Head down, lovely strike, swerved it away from the keeper and hit somebody in the crowd, knocked them over, no doubt. But Biggins does look much more confident today than I've seen him before this season. The usual thing about when you're not scoring goals and you are a striker, the confidence dips. Fleming's got a free kick here out of Gilbert. 9 shots apiece now, and that shows the way the game is going. Initially it was all Grimsby. Speaker's playing the wrong way for the moment. Longer from Anderson, Butcher surely under it, he is. A neat play from fullback Croft as well, and he's found Mendonca. Lovely build-up this from Grimsby, and Mendonca will continue to run at the defence. Tips it out wide for Gary Childs, and Childs was trying to relocate Mendonca. Ford, and a slip by Rees means that one comes to an end. Anderson. Glad to be directing operations on the pitch again. Still a lot of football left in Viv Anderson. O'Connell holds off Croft, wriggled away from his marker, and Croft is going to be booked. Croft could find no other answer as to how to combat O'Connell, but I think he's a bit perplexed as to why he's going to get a yellow card for it.
Yeah, O'Connell's very strong on the ball, and he had hold of it. A little bit of frustration possibly from Croft, wanting to get the ball, and a little bit of naivety. All he's got to do is hold him up there. He's reasonably tight to the line. He's got turn, he knows he's got turn, so he then took up the shirt and fit right to put him in the book.
First caution of the afternoon, Gary Croft. And Redfern here with this free kick for Barnsley, floated up towards Anderson, and it was Williams coming at the back post who nearly got a foot in there, and that would have been a telling blow for Barnsley. They have the corner, and Redfern, and Biggins, and O'Connell, and spooned over the top and almost out of the ground by Ian Bryson.
Throws the ball down well, Grimsby at the end there, and Jockey Bryson didn't have a lot of space to try and get a shot on target, but Barnsley are now forcing Grimsby back a little bit. They're tending at times possibly to play along the back four a bit too much and giving Grimsby a chance to squeeze up, but when they do get it forward into O'Connell and into Bryson and Biggins, they do look dangerous.
This one breaks for Bryson and for Biggins. Tried to just flick it through for the incoming O'Connell. Bertie Biggins, as he's known in the business, has certainly done the business again this afternoon, although he's not going to be credited with that goal for Barnsley. It's gone to Brendan O'Connell. O'Connell's fourth of the season, by the way, and it's why the scoreline is Barnsley 1, Grimsby 1. Biggins, space for O'Connell now, and the move is all down the right. Good movement, Fleming. O'Connell's had a really good start to this second half. He's troubling them no end, and it's Ford who's had to come across to stop him now.
And that's where Barnsley need to play all the good football, when they're in the attacking third and committing Grimsby.
Biggins hooks it back across the face of goal. Just the bounce of it carried it away from Williams. Archdeacon, it's another good spell for Viv Anderson's team. Alan Buckley must be a little bit worried at the moment, although not about that cross. I imagine Alan Buckley was very happy with the first 30 minutes and the way the game was going, but since then Barnsley have looked likely to get goals.
Always difficult when he's possibly had to reorganise through injury. We're not exactly sure about that, but it looks like it's injury, and he's had to reorganise, and always difficult to get the rhythm of the game and the pace of the game back again.
No foul, just good hard defensive work by Fletcher. He's found Groves here. One back by Childs for Grimsby, and he tries to bring Reese into it. The ball wasn't quite solid enough.
Charlie Bishop's done well this half. He's shown a lot of pace and cut out one or two dangerous attacks.
Ball in, missed by Groves, finds Gilbert. Terrific effort from Gilbert. Mendonca, Butler makes the save. Fine effort that from David Gilbert. And many a goalkeeper would have been beaten by it, but not Lee Butler.
Well, he can't believe it, Dave Gilbert. That was a super strike, but what a save. Down very low to his left, we'll see here. First of all, a nice little first touch, sets himself up, bang with the left foot. Great save, and he's recovered. That's the important thing. He's up on his feet, good goalkeeping, brave enough to get it at the second attempt.
Yeah, Lee Butler's been man of the match before on occasions when we've been to Oakwell. That was a terrific stop. And here's a good ball as well to get O'Connell in. Now he's offside. Barnsley have been caught offside twice to Grimsby's 4 times, so that's not a bad tally for this match. And Bryson is in possession. And Donker. Well pursued by Eden. Donker can't get away from Anderson. Well, we've gone past the hour mark, a goal apiece. These two sides really need maximum points today. Bryson's offside here. The linesman on the far side, Russell Tiffin, who's a farmer, by the way. And the other linesman today is Peter Kitson, who's coming towards the end of his career as a Football League official. And he's a bandsman in the Royal Signals. That's his full-time occupation. Although neither side's calling the tune today. Here's some progress for Grimsby, and it's cut behind. Bishop got a foot in the way. Charlie Bishop, acquired from Bury a couple of seasons ago, and he's just conceded only the second corner that Grimsby have won. Gilbert swings these in. That's exactly what he does do. Anderson there. Familiar guys. Redfern makes tracks. That's intelligent play from Redfern, and just unlucky, the ball skidded off the surface in front of Fleming. One of those moves that looked good and didn't turn out quite so well. And Donker made himself available. Eden threading it through for Biggins now. Bryson this time. Just a little layoff for Redfern, wasn't quite good enough. That's not a very good clearance either. And Gareth Williams is here for Barnsley. He'll try his luck. Couldn't take advantage of Crichton's poor clearance though. But Williams does know the way to the net. He got 5 goals towards the end of last season, including a hat-trick in one match. Dave Bassett. We've got, what, 19 minutes into the second half. What are your feelings now?
Barnsley will be happy with their display. They're taking the game to Grimsby, other than the shot where Butler brought a very, very good save, double save off. Grimsby haven't really troubled Barnsley that much, and Barnsley have had 1 or 2 good efforts with Wayne Biggins, and they look more likely. They look a little bit more virile and as if they want to win the game.
64 minutes played, and here are Barnsley on the attack again, but Grimsby closing the door, and then it's belted up towards Tony Rees, and all the way back from Bishop to Butler. Oh, Futcher in very sharply again. He's so sprightly, isn't he, Paul Futcher? 37 now, nearly 700 league games. That's a fantastic record. And again a giveaway. Some of those balls out of defence are really not good enough. So this time Barnsley haven't perished, not as yet from it. Childs is still in there tussling. Groves might latch onto it. Does do. Firm challenge. And then Rees has managed to get it out for Jobling here. Grimsby only 2 men inside the penalty area for the moment. Childs, Rees, Childs, super football! And again Butler's there to make the stop. That was absolutely typical of Grimsby Town's work. And unfortunately, again, nothing on the end of it.
Yes, it was a great little give and go there. Gary Childs. Here we've got the ball going into the box again. No danger for Barnsley there. Lovely little give and go. I thought that I was going to pull it back to Tony for, but Tony made a run in, but another good save from Lee Butler under pressure there.
Redfern didn't spot Gilbert. Gilbert tried to dance on there. Mendonca touches it for Groves. It's a better spell for Grimsby again now, as Croft advances up the left, but he's knocked it too far. And Barnsley again are getting themselves into bother there.
You know that Gary Charles and people like Dave Gilbert are going to try those little things. Here we see it, little give and go. We've missed the first pass, in for the second one. He's had a little look up and he's fired it across the goal when I thought there was going to be a little pullback there, but all credit to Lee Butler, he saved the day again for Barnsley.
Williams. O'Connell continues to work really hard for Barnsley, and he's done some very selfless running this afternoon, Brendan O'Connell. Jack Charlton was very interested in him when he heard the name Brendan O'Connell last year, thought he might qualify for the Republic of Ireland, and found out he was born in London. Williams, inside that area again, wins the corner. Corner for Barnsley, Redfern with the ball at his foot. Up towards the penalty spot, punch out good enough. He did all that was open to him and found Redfern, asked him to deliver another one in there. And it's Butcher who leads the charge out, amazingly. Well, he's got Mendonca ahead of him, he's got Rees here. Croft's making a dash up the left, good running from the fullback. This is enterprise from Grimsby. The ball is just too far back. Now at the other end, away goes O'Connell. Grimsby had left 3 men back, so they should be able to cope with this. Bryson's got some room now. Ian Bryson, right across the goal. And, well, arriving at the far post was O'Connell. He could do nothing with it. Quick enough at the moment.
It's becoming a very open game, end-to-end stuff, and a nice ball played across the front of the defence there, and nobody to put it in.
Rees for Mendonca. Telling challenge from Eden. Clipped by Butcher onto the chest of Rees. Delightful play from him. Ford, twice involved. Rees and Croft now, and Croft, I thought he'd hesitated a little too long, but got it through for Mendonca. Mendonca, good turn in the area. Cracking effort from Clive Mendonca. There seemed nothing on there, but he knew that there was the chance of a rasping shot which he put in, and it drifted a foot wide.
He's one of those players, Clive, with a low centre of gravity, very quick feet. He's had a crack with his left peg. Great shot of it there, just inches past the far post. Doesn't need a lot of space, Clive, in the box.
The game has deserved more than the 2 goals we've had, actually. Barnsley again charging down. So Crichton hoops it up towards the halfway line. Viv Anderson in, has to be offside. Well, Jim Dobbin came off at half-time. He's with Rob McCaffrey on the touchline.
Jim Dobbin injured in the first half, disappointment against your old club. You feel you should have maybe sewn this game up in the first half?
Yes, I thought the first 20 minutes we had enough chances to finish the game, and if you don't take your chances, you end up struggling, and that's what we done in the first half.
What about now? How do you see it going? Chances either end, very open game.
Yes, it's very even Steven at the moment, but I think we're playing the better football, and I think we're just edging it at the moment.
All right, Jim, thanks very much. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Must be a great worry to Alan Buckley that he's got Jim Dobbin and Steve Livingston now on the touchline, in addition to those 10 players who've been out from the start of this match. But they're in the hunt again, looking for what could be a winner. Butcher delayed the pass, and then it was a good one, and then Childs tries his luck. flashes a foot wide. Well, Gary Childs has never been known as a prolific goal scorer. He'd only got 3 goals in the last 2 seasons, but he's got 4 in the last few weeks. And here's another good try.
It's a fair bet that he's not going to score many from 40 yards there, but he's had the confidence to have a go, and didn't really trouble the goalkeeper, but a nice little snapshot from distance.
Childs, who, like Jim Dobbin, is playing on a week-to-week basis at the moment. And Grimsby are coming strongly again now. And that'll worry Barnsley in their position. In the bottom 3, remember. Flick, lovely. Ford coming for it, just couldn't get there. But they've perked up again of Grimsby.
Well, they're always decent around the edge of the box, and they play nice little 1-2s, give and goes, and difficult to defend against, but at the moment Barnsley are making them shoot from distance, and Lee Butler will be happy that they're having no chances in and around the 6-yard box.
They try to create something again now with Rees. Well, I warned you, those little back heels are terrific sometimes. No foul again. And they're just calling the shots at the moment, Grimsby. They're getting more possession. Neat from Bryson. Williams is up the left. Eventually get out to him via Eden. 1-1 the scoreline here. Barnsley and Grimsby. Archdeacon, chance to play this one in, and he'll still have that chance. Not a bad ball. Bryson. Just kept it in. And we've still got 3 men inside the penalty area. We'll probably need more bodies, if anything. And I'm sure that both managers will look at that scoreline and realise that 1-1's not much good to either of them really today.
Now, at times there's been some good play around the box and outside of the box, but that final ball that's been going has not been of the highest quality. And we saw it again just on the wide left there with Owen Archdeacon and Bryson having a couple of little touches, and the ball didn't get into the box, and that's what both sides have lacked at times.
Grimsby are in possession with Ford, and then with Groves. Grimsby's record signing last season. Still time for either side to win it. Ford was body checked as he was attempting to get onto the end of the reverse ball from Mendonca. Well, I have seen Grimsby win away this season. They won at Peterborough with a terrific late goal from this fellow, Paul Groves. He's taken a crack on his ankle there, I think.
Yeah, they've tried a little movement there, just a step over and a spin, and he's been blocked out of it, and the referee was right to give a foul. But Alan must be sat on the bench with Arthur, worrying that there's going to be another injury here. They've had a horrendous time with injuries, and a couple more within the game so far, and he'll be hoping that Groves gets up on his feet and starts playing again.
9 free kicks conceded by Grimsby, 6 by Barnsley. Just to run down that injury toll at the moment, they've got the likes of Graham Rodger, their skipper, out with Achilles trouble. Peter Handyside, who's had a hernia. Neil Woods out for a long time with a knee injury. Tony Dawes is out, ankle trouble. Craig Shakespeare. And Alan Buckley must wonder when it's ever going to stop. And even in midweek, he's brought a Nigerian international, Chima Okere, to the club on a 2-month trial, and he looked very promising, and then he came here to Oakwell in midweek and broke a leg. Still, Grimsby still here and looking inside that area, and Groves is still tussling for it. 1/4 of an hour to go. Gilbert. And Donker couldn't turn his man, and Fleming had marked him tightly. Can you see a winner, Chris?
Not in the last 5 or 10 minutes. It's just slowed down a little bit the pace of the game, and chances are starting to come few and far between. But there's always hope. It only takes a second to score the goal, as the old saying goes, and let's hope somebody gets one.
Barnsley's chance as it goes up towards Bryson, and he took it down nicely as well. He's got to wait for some support. Nobody up there just yet. There is now. Biggins across the goal. It goes! And Williams, and astonishingly, it stayed out again. Cannot believe that. Grimsby's Croft got one off the line in the first half. Brighton looks perplexed. And how Williams hasn't scored and given Barnsley the lead, I shall never know.
A tremendous ball in here with pace and his bodies, and he has kept the ball out there. No need for the Russian linesman to come into play, and they've cleared it, and it's out for a corner.
Barnsley have the corner nonetheless, and the keeper, he was impeded. Anderson can't win it cleanly though inside, and Grimsby again get themselves out of bother. It was his own man who got in Crichton's way that time. Well, a real buzz around the ground after that. This is Biggins, who's been a handful. And the ball in, Bryson! It's just not going, is it?
Well, he's holding his head there, he can't believe it. Great ball in from Biggins. The sort of thing that day after day on the training ground you'll practice. Ball's into the box, he's coming in, near post across the goalkeeper. Just needs to keep his head down, and you can see by his reaction he's very disappointed with that. A good ball in, he's met it on the half volley and lifted it when really he's got to guide it into the net.
There should be no real pressure here for Butler. Well, both goals have had let-offs this afternoon. Still just the 2 goals scored. As goes Mendonca again, and Butler heads safely away. And Biggins did really well, although I don't think O'Connell will get that far, but he might get it off lever, and Biggins still has a chance to tee somebody up. O'Connell gets it back again. Barnsley calling the shots for the moment. He was a bit ambitious there though. Fleming's made a run on the overlap. It's coming to the back post. There'll be another corner. Grimsby under the cross at the moment.
Interested in when Wayne Biggins has pulled one, he's put some great balls into the box.
Here's another ball into that danger zone, and drifting away totally. Well, Dave Bassett, Ian Bryson got a few goals for you over the years, and maybe he thinks he should have got one there.
He'd be disappointed with that, but it was quite a difficult chance. The ball sort of bounced as he was taking it, but he would have done better with just a nice side foot. But when I last spoke, I felt Barnsley were in control, but Grimsby had come back and had a couple of excellent chances. But Barnsley have got themselves going with those 2 efforts recently, you know, so I still fancy that Barnsley win it.
OK, we'll see if they do, Dave. Dave Bassett, who'll be naming that man of the match for us shortly. Here's Williams of Barnsley. Checked, but Archdeacon swings it back in here. Oh, Redfern's tussling, lever clearing. Too long, surely. Barnsley 1, Grimsby 1, just over 10 minutes left at Oakwell. Bishop for Barnsley. He's trying to search out Croft here at left back. But certainly O'Connell and Bryson and Biggins have looked quite menacing in the last few minutes.
Yeah, great work again by Bryson there. Good forward play. He's worked hard to win something for Barnsley there, put the fullback under pressure. But O'Connell, as you're saying, Bryson, Biggins are working very hard up front, and you can possibly see, as Dave said, those players in that team be the more likely to score.
Butcher again has been outstanding at the centre of Grimsby's defence as he got that one away. And although Ford loses it, it spins away and Grimsby retain possession. Now Gary Childs, who's had a couple of very good efforts, and on he goes. And we're into the last 10 minutes. Long it. So Rees can't get there, probably a little short of match fitness, Tony Rees. Dave Gilbert, he had a good effort in this half, and on he goes. Croft. No way through this time, and Barnsley's defending has been better in the second half than it was in the first. Either side will want to lose it in the last 10 minutes, obviously. And They've now just over 9 minutes in which to win it, in which to take the full 3 points. Not from that sort of a pass, though. As we've said before, Chris, a point really is not a lot of good to these two, and since they introduced 3 points for a win, it really has reduced the value of a draw.
Now both teams need a win, and with 3 points for a win, you can move up the table quite quickly. But you've got to say Barnsley have looked much more of a unit in this second half. They've played some good football and had chances, and looked the more likely team.
But to be fair to Grimsby, they've got both substitutes on, and Barnsley haven't had to make a change.
Yeah, very difficult for them at half-time to have to change when they had been playing quite well, and in important positions also.
They look to try and win it through Croft there, and then O'Connell just about wrests the ball away. This is Archdeacon. That's great work from Williams, and then the ball might be too long, I fancy. No foul, although Barnsley's fans at the back of that goal thought there was. Anderson has to be certain. Barnsley 1, Grimsby 1. Yorkshire television derby at Oakwell. So these sides meeting again in a month, and they're looking to gain the upper hand today. But the referee's wave play on here, and Biggins tries to take advantage. The ball in again, headed away this time by Gilbert, and it's all backs to the wall now for Grimsby as Fleming makes inroads. The danger to Barnsley is that they could just get hurt on the break. And once more, Butcher finds himself up there. Childs, this is his game, running at defences, trying to find Mendonca. What an important interception by Bishop, although the linesman on this side says he was offside anyway.
He was offside, but again Charlie Bishop, a nice intervention, read the play and stuck a foot out and came away with the ball.
7 minutes left. O'Connell tries to elude Butcher, feeds a good ball up that left-hand channel for Biggins, and Lever had enough confidence tonight was going over the line to let it run out. And Butcher will be spoken to by Mr. Wright, although he's walking away. Butcher and O'Connell, who used to be teammates here. A little altercation maybe, and I think Mr. Wright is saying that I'm going to have the time on no matter what. Ooh, and Butcher is not a happy man, is he?
Got a bang on his nose there, a bit of blood coming, so he's not too happy.
Lever for Rees, held it up and then put it straight at O'Connell's foot, but Gilbert makes the interception for Grimsby. Off he goes again up the middle. It's interesting that Gilbert has switched to much more of a central role in this second half. In addition to that only home victory here, Barnsley have also only drawn once. So I suppose a point would be seen as an improvement, but they really do desperately want all three. Mendonca can't make progress. Eden will for Barnsley. 5 minutes to go. O'Connell, good tackle from Croft. Nicely done, Redfern to Archdeacon. There's only Biggins up in the penalty area. Now Bryson's got in there. Grimsby had enough bodies around again. And then sloppily they lose it. And here comes Bryson. Inside the area, Ian Bryson knocks it a bit too far, I fancy, but gets a corner. Crichton looks a trifle disappointed. But the referee, Mr. Wright, has been pretty close to the action today and gives the corner. Barnsley have taken it. Redford must swing this one in and hope someone can get in there. Flicked across, booted away by Groves. And then Gilbert hits it up here, and there's a one-on-one. Mendonca and Bishop. Still Mendonca. Up on his right goes Ford. Here comes Tony Ford now. And Grimsby desperately trying to get men up in the Barnsley penalty area, but Butler surely will catch. And he'll belt it straight up the middle for Bryson, for O'Connell now. It's a thrilling finish that these two are contriving. O'Connell's driven wide. Has to check. Comes inside, looks for the winner! Well, that deserved to be a winner as well. Well, Dave Bassett, we've gone through, what, 87 minutes? Time for you to tell us who the man of the match is.
Well, actually, it was the guy who just shot over the bar, Brendan O'Connell. I think he's done well throughout. When Barnsley had their poor spell early on, his enthusiasm with Redfern, you know, got them going again. And he worked very, very hard in that spell. And then he got the goal just before half-time. And he's kept up the pressure in the second half. And I think he's sort of epitomised Barnsley's sort of determination, particularly throughout the game.
Thanks, Dave. I'm sure Brendan O'Connell will look forward to his bubbly afterwards. He gets a bottle of champagne for that. The Ensley League man of the match, Brendan O'Connell. But it's 1-1 with 2.5 minutes left. And some more running for Mendonca to do against Anderson. Good defending from the former England international, the man who won 30 caps. Chris, would you go along with Brendan O'Connell?
Oh, I'd endorse that fully. I was just about to say that, again, in that situation, he worked so hard to get hold of the ball on a break. And
there's Childs for Grimsby. Is he bundled over? He is! It's a penalty for Grimsby. And Barnsley may have thrown it away here. Gareth Williams, the defender, who charged into the back of Gary Childs. And a penalty, the decision. Here he goes. Mr. Wright had a good long look and says it's a spot kick. So Grimsby can win. Williams looks distraught. Mendonca aims to get his second of the match and to win it maybe for Grimsby. 2 for Mendonca, 2 for Grimsby, and it's looking grim for Barnsley now. It could be 6 home defeats in 8 games.
Well, very cruel for Barnsley to have a penalty against you and scored so late in the game. Good penalty for Mendonca, and I don't think there was much argument about Williams giving the penalty away. But really, in the last 10-15 minutes, Grimsby have had very few chances, and it is really hard for Barnsley and their supporters to stomach that.
Well, it's a cruel moment for Gareth Williams. Brought back into the side today. It's his first start. He only came on as a substitute at Oxford in midweek, and he made a goal then, but today he started the match and he's given away the penalty, which might mean that Barnsley's abysmal home record gets even worse. There goes Mendonca again.
I think we did pick out Childs and Gilbert at the start of the game, and in spells they've probably been 2 of Grimsby's better players, and Dave Gilbert always lively, and Gary Childs there who was kept running throughout the game and got into the box and won the penalty for Barnsley, for Grimsby.
Grimsby naturally trying to waste a bit of time, retain possession as long as possible, and there'll be a substitution now for Barnsley. One last real throw of the dice this, if they do manage to bring Nick Eden off. But we've moved into time added on, and Grimsby may be on the way to the second win of the season away from Blundell Park, and that's audacity as Rees back heels. Ford keeps possession. And that's all Grimsby want to do now, is not give the ball away, and Barnsley still can't attract the attention of the referee. They want to bring Liddell on, and in fact they're going to do that. Liddell will come on for Eden, but we're already into the 91st minute. You do have to feel for Barnsley, Chris, after all the pressure they've had. They certainly don't deserve to lose it.
Well, I mean, we said it first half, all the pressure that they'd had, they needed to score, and they scored before half-time, and the pressure that they've had second half, obviously they needed to score, and they haven't taken the chances that have come their way, and Grimsby have took theirs.
Grimsby have won, have they? No, in fact I thought so, but no, the referee raised his arm, and the fans there thought that Grimsby had won as well, but there is still some playing time left in the match. But is there time for Barnsley to get another goal? O'Connell foiled by Groves, but illegally foiled, so here Barnsley have a free kick. This has to be a last foray from them. Archdeacon, Redfern, forced back, and a firm header away, and the danger is they might just get caught on the break yet again, although Rees is more intent on holding things up. Childs has gone up the middle, didn't quite get there. So Little gets his first touch as the substitute. Andrew Little, Barnsley 2-1 behind. Fleming, they need that ball in the Grimsby penalty area. It's sliced away by Groves. Redfern for Fleming, it might be over the top, that one. It is.
You can hear the Grimsby, the bench down there, Alan and Arthur screaming their heads over Tony Rees there. They're giving the ball away. They just wanted to kill a bit more time, keep the ball, and end the game as winners.
2.5 minutes of time added on. They know it's not over yet on that bench, but they know they stand a very good chance of winning the day and moving to halfway in the table into 12th position. That's where Grimsby will be if they retain that scoreline. They'll move above Birmingham City. That's exactly what they do. It's another home defeat for Barnsley, their 6th in 8 games. 2 Clive Mendonca goals, one from what Barnsley felt was an offside position in the first half, and one a couple of minutes from the end from the penalty spot have been good enough for Grimsby to beat Barnsley here. Barnsley's only reward a Brendan O'Connell goal just before half-time. But it's Grimsby who win 2-1. We'll take a break and we'll have reaction from both camps later.
Grimsby are the winners by 2-1. The match winner and the man of the match are with Rob.
Yeah, Clive Mendonca, 2 goals, and I think the winner came at a time when maybe Barnsley were getting on top there.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I thought second half Barnsley had most of the play. They played very well, but luckily for us we got a penalty, and was happy to stick it away.
Okay, well, the consolation is the Ensley man of the match champagne, Brendan O'Connell, a goal, but I'm sure you would have rather had 3 points there, or at least a point.
That's right, it was disappointing for us really. I'm sure the lads are going to be gutted in the dressing room. We had some great chances to win the game, but I thought we had 75%, 80% of the game, and we played really well, we just couldn't convert the chances.
That's the key, isn't it? And this is the name of the game, isn't it? Converting chances to, and you took them.
Yeah, that's right. As Brendan says, I thought Barnsley had most of the play, but fortunately for me, I stuck my chances away today, and that's the way it goes, isn't it?
Gentlemen, great game to watch. Thanks very much. Congratulations to you, Clive. Unlucky, Brendan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Well, we can see an example, really, of exactly what they were talking about, their chances not being taken, Dave, because twice in about 2 minutes, Barnsley had a really good chances to sew it up.
Yeah, they had some good chances, and they've got to be disappointed because they deserve to get a draw or a victory. There's, you know, the keeper doesn't know anything about that. That goes in the net on another occasion. The block, you know, but you need your bit of luck in football.
And then just a couple of minutes later,
that's
really
right.
Ian Bryson had a great chance, didn't he?
Yeah, this is a good chance for Ian Bryson, a good ball in by Biggins, and really a little side foot, and it's just one of those, if the trajectory is a bit lower, it's in the net, and the keeper won't stop those as well, and then no doubt Barnsley would have gone on.